Chris. I am getting a chance now to react to April Lauren's video from yesterday. I wanted to get this out yesterday, but I just did not get time. It's titled 1 week post-op update and weigh in after weight loss surgery. And she had the duodenal switch. It said both ways, guys. So I have her sped up for time. I'm curious to see what she has to say. I assumed she was probably getting some kind of therapy with this because she has the history of eating problems. But now that I saw some other reactors and I rewatched this, I don't know if she is. I hope they're just not relying on like Prozac and the surgery to help her with her problems, because clearly she has severe problems, not just with depression, but like with food. And I'm not knocking her for that. It is something that requires, treatment, like therapy. So let's see what she has to say. Let's see how she's doing. Let's see how much weight she's lost. I will tell you that as far as bariatric surgeries go, the duodenal switch is it's a pretty aggressive procedure. It really limits the calorie absorption, and sometimes they do this on people that they worry are going to relapse or maybe not be 100% compliant, because that way they are just not getting the absorption as somebody who may have like just had a sleep or something. So let's see what she's doing and how things are heading. The other thing I'm going to say is I hope that now she's back doing this, I don't care what she says, what she does, she needs to be honest. If she wants to do this time around, this go around, she needs to be honest. And she's got to absolutely 100% talk about the aspect of the food, of the diet. She needs to talk about what she's eating, what she's not eating, what the dietary requirements are, the supplementation, and when she's struggling, what she's struggling with, how she's dealing with it. She cannot just do this surgery, do this journey and say, oh, I had all this big surgery and all this now, and then, oh, I'm losing all this weight, and never talk about the food, start bringing up all the exercise again. She has to do the food and has to be honest. She's going to have to show the scale sometimes too, or she's going to catch the same flack she got last time. So I hope she learned her lesson from her last time around. We'll see.
I am 1 week post-op from having a duodenal switch or weight loss surgery to help me lose weight. Welcome to my channel, Wake Up Right, where I share all the things that help me live each day a little brighter. I am April Lauren, and I'm on a journey to lose 200 pounds and to keep it off forever, to live a healthy, happy life.
Yes, and that's good. And what she was doing last time really annoyed me, because she always said, oh, I'm doing it in a slow and sustainable way. Her way wasn't sustainable at all, especially when they were talking about having kids, because she was completely dependent on trying to do all this exercise and all these challenges and all this working out and stuff, and not worrying about the food. And that's not realistic. You're going to get to a time, or many times in places in your life, where you can't work out like that. You don't have the time to exercise. If you have a kid, you get a job, just things happen. You can't rely on exercise alone. Yeah, it's great, but not for just for weight loss and weight maintenance. So yeah, there's that.
And yeah, so that brings me to this video. So I have not posted on my YouTube channel in over half a year. And even before that, it wasn't like posting. It's been over a year posting content consistently. A lot.
And it was really rude, mind you, because she had so many people that cared so much about her. And she really could have truly just done a community post. Hey, I'm okay. I'm alive. Just going through it. I promise I'll touch base with you, or tell her sister to give a little update, because people were asking on Emily's channel how she's doing. And she really just left them hanging. And that was like when those fires were going on in Hawaii. People were worried that she was near them. It was a big mess. She was really, really kind of rude to her audience. I'm not going to lie.
Changed in my life. I live in Hawaii now, which I have already shared. And I went through a pretty intense bout of depression. And I do feel on the other side struggling kind of more at this point with like the guilt of withdrawal. When I get very depressed, I tend to withdraw into myself pretty hard. And haven't done a video, I will do a video and tag it. If you haven't, I started my YouTube channel with this, how did I get fat? And in that video,
maybe we'll go back if I get time and react to that. Her how did I get fat video. I know she wasn't completely honest in that even. So yeah, the name of the game with April is going to have to be honesty with us and herself. I just can't stress that enough with this woman. That being said, I think she needed the surgery. And there's no shame in that. I will never fault somebody for saying, I need help. I'm trying to do this. I can't do it. I don't want my situation to get worse. I just think that the therapy, I think it's a pride thing for her. She thought she wanted to say, I can do it on my own. I'm not like other people who needed that kind of help. I don't need therapy. And there's no shame in needing the help. You know what I mean? It actually takes a strong person to say, hey, I can't do this on my own, and seek out the proper care that they need so they can get their act together and move forward. And I know what it's like. Depression can be horrible, and it causes you to just like walk away from a lot of stuff and everything and not take care of yourself. So I'm glad she's getting that managed with medicine, but I think some therapy would help her a lot.
So I talk a lot about my experience with depression and how that and my weight happened. I am struggling. It's just like the fifth.
But ultimately, April, the depression caused you to not be as active, and it caused you to eat more and eat too much. And you ultimately gained weight, not because you caused weight because of the choices the depression caused you to make. Ultimately, the weight gain was still caused by food, overeating. I'm not like dismissing it. I know it causes that, but she still, I noticed in the last video, she still really skirts the issue about food and her overeating it as for whatever reason as being the main part of the problem.
Now that I have started this video. So all of that to say, I'm 1 week post-op. Throughout this week, I started off, I woke up from anesthesia, was all over the place, very much not myself, and did not stay conscious for very long before I slept. Woke up, and every time in the hospital that I woke up, I was feeling a little better. My oxygen was a little low. It got into the 80s. So they were a little concerned about that at first, but that by the time I went home had normalized. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and when I went home, I felt really good. Like there was still a constant level of pain.
Yeah, but like I said, that's an aggressive surgery, and people who I've even known who have had bariatric surgery, it's unpleasant. It's like any other surgery. You're really kind of achy and laid up for, a few days and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's understandable.
But it really wasn't terrible. It was like a constant level of pain, and that constant level was like a 3 or 4 on the pain scale. And then there was, if I like moved certain ways or if something touched certain areas, then it would like jump up.
Yeah, and she probably is like to some degree on like a lifting restriction for a time.
But it was very manageable. And then I came home. I've been in and out of sleep so much this past week. On Friday, I sent pictures of my incisions to my mom, and she's like, "Oh, they look so good." And then on Sunday, they were like itching. They're kind of itching.
And I'm assuming they also did the surgery laparoscopic for her. I'm assuming they didn't have to open her up old-fashioned style.
Bad right now. So I had my husband actually took both pictures. He took pictures of my incisions, and when I looked at the two, I was a little concerned because the Friday one they were raised and you could see where like a keloid, but there wasn't anything else going on. And then Sunday they were like encircled with red.
You got to watch that because that they could be getting infected, and it's really easy to get an infection post-op. No matter how much you take care of the incisions, sometimes it just happens.
And it was pretty alarming to me. So I sent that stuff off to my surgeon and the nurse who works on my case. She called and my husband answered. She's like, "Y'all need to come in and get that looked at." And so just got ready and left. I am allergic to the steri tape or whatever it's called.
Oh, okay. I know what she means. Like whenever you have an infection, like a general area gets I'm sorry, I inhaled something, it seems like. Dust. The area will start to get red and warm and hot and sore and all that stuff. But when she said there was a circle, she meant a literal circle. I actually have that where they consider it an allergy at the hospital, and it's like in my medical charts, and I have to like tell them, just like a latex sensitivity. It's kind of in line. They kind of, where I'm from, they lump it in with a latex sensitivity. I'm allergic or sensitive to the glue that is on like the electrodes and the op sites they use, those clear things to hold your IVs in, and the tape, like, you know, if you get your blood drawn and then they're done and they put the little cotton swab on there and tape it. Whenever I have any of that on me, I will have like if they put that on me in the shape of like an anchor, and I peeled it off like an hour later, I would have a red, slightly swollen, red itchy mark, the exact shape of an anchor. Whatever the shape of that bandage or that tape is, I have it doesn't go out beyond it. Just where that glue hits my skin, it's sensitive and it's red and it's itchy, and then it lasts like maybe a day or two after we have to take them off and wipe it off, and then it's fine. But that's what she's talking about. So she definitely has like, they call it like a sensitivity to the tape, and it's the glue that they use, and it's in like in almost every kind of tape. They'll try using paper tape and stuff. Doesn't matter for me. It's the same, and it's not life threatening, at least not for me. But I'm sure like any other allergy, it could be different degrees for different people. But that's what she's talking about. Her bandages, her Band-Aids were round, and she had I can picture these like 3 exact round circle dots, 3 or 4 or 5, however many incisions she had. That's what's going on.
Tape that they put over the incisions. So apparently they suture you on the inside, and then on the outside they put
and
that tape.
Honestly, they have to put the tape on and stuff. So if they do blood or something, I'll hold the cotton swab on there for a while. If I have to get going, I'll put tape on it, but I'll take it off in a minute. But they know, like, because I have such a reaction to it, that if I can avoid the tape or they can take it off as soon as possible, they do.
And I was allergic to that tape, and so now I'm on medicine for that, and it makes me drowsy. So, which is great, because I think every time I sleep, I heal more. So I wake up and I feel a little better, and that's encouraging. But also I would like to not sleep as much as I feel like I am, and probably going to, until I stop taking this medicine. And the spots have gotten more itchy, and they continue to increase in their redness. So I'm really glad I went when I did.
Well, if it's like I said, they can last a couple of days. It depends on where they're at, how long they were on, how sensitive your skin is, how sensitive you are to it. So she just needs to kind of keep watching that, and if they don't get better, I would definitely go back, and she might need some sort of allergy medicine.
Because I don't know what would have happened if I didn't. It would have, my whole stomach would have been one hard red itchy bump. I feel
well,
like
they just would have got redder and redder and itchier, and then you could have scratched them, and it could have turned into more of a serious reaction. So it sounds like she's pretty allergic to it.
So my first week.
How'd that go, April?
I talk all over the place and in circles. I know, but it is literally the way I talk. So just is what it is.
This is true.
But this 1 week, I've covered a lot of ground between there's like the hospital stay, home, and then there's the rash situation. I weighed at home and I weighed at the doctor's office.
Honestly, that's not bad. That's pretty good. The rash, it is an annoyance, and it's gonna be annoying, but that's really far from the worst.
And I'm down 12 pounds. 1 week, 12.
Ooh, girl. No, that's really good progress. 12 pounds the first week post-op. That's really good.
Pounds, and I was expecting, when I weighed, I was expecting to not have really lost much weight, if any. I am a part of a couple of groups that talk about things, and I'm always like seeing other people's stories, and it's not uncommon for people to not lose immediately after they have the surgery because of all of the swelling from surgery.
I still think a lot of people still lose even just a little bit. I'm sure it varies, and there is definitely some swelling and stuff post-op, But just with not being able to keep much down and stuff, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose, I think for the most part people lose something, but 12 pounds is great for her.
And so I'm very happy that I am 12 pounds down. So surgery the
Yeah,
day I
me
was
too. I'm actually April. I'm truly happy for you guys. I'm not gonna lie, man. We need a freaking win in Girl World. We just do. I mean, we're not gonna get it from Amber. We're not gonna get it from Foodie. I'm pretty positive we're not gonna get it from Alexandra or Anna. So, April, no pressure. Don't mean to put everything on your shoulders completely, but you are our one and only hope. So, no offense, but you can't fail. You can't let us down.
14.8, 302 pounds this past week. And I am very happy. It's weird. I think I have crazy inflammatory responses to a lot of foods, and I need to probably get some allergy tests or something.
Yeah, you should, because that way, because a lot of people do, and that will affect your hormones, your inflammation, how you feel. Yeah.
A lot of weight to lose considering the surgery. And it's not weight as much as it is just swelling, because I can already see like in my face and stuff where I was.
April, let's not start getting crazy. It is weight too, girl. Just see, it's a slippery slope with her between the stretching the truth a little and to the lying. So let's just keep it a buck.
Was really puffy. I mean, to you guys, I probably look puffy because I'm still.
You can really tell.
I'm still heavier than when I was regularly posting by.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell she's a lot heavier. And honestly, I think she was heavier than she admitted. But it doesn't matter now because this is a new run. We're starting fresh. And like I said, just be honest and everything will be okay. You'll still have your throat on Kiwi Farms, girl. You ain't ever going to get rid of that. But we'll be better here on out.
So there's that. And I'm not going to dwell on that. It's just going to make me feel really down.
Oh, by the way, which I haven't even looked on her thread yet. I'm behind on Amber's and fat acceptance, so I have to read those. But I bet the April thread exploded in happiness and celebration when she came back. So I can't wait to see what they're saying about all this. I can't wait to read the gossip. Honestly, though, her thread is pretty mild-mannered compared to the other ones. And all of the threads give a lot of good advice and a lot of insight. And these people, man, they can find out anything.
Not okay. And I need to be okay so that way I can keep my mind. I just need to keep my mind right and focus on.
Well, April, yes, you need to keep your mind right. And that is going to require therapy. And please don't be that girl again that is too proud to get it. Please don't. You're only going to hurt yourself.
What's here, what's now, what's in front of me, and not what has happened or what could happen in a negative way right here, right now. I'm 1 week post-op. I'm feeling really good. I have zero regrets. As long as I don't drink anything that gives me gas or like drink too fast. I did do that last Friday. I was talking to my mom on the phone and I just wasn't paying attention. I should have talking to my mom on the phone. Talking to my mom on the phone, and I just reached over and grabbed my drink. And before I thought, I had like 3 huge gulps. And then immediately, like as that third gulp went down, I was like, oh no. I was like, Mom, I gotta go. And I was in excruciating pain.
Yeah, there's this thing with the surgeries where if you eat too much or too fast or the wrong things or any combination of thereof, you can get this stuff called dumping syndrome, where you just get a lot of stomach pain and discomfort and puking, lots and lots and lots of puking. And you don't want that, because especially with her surgery, there's so much restriction with the absorption. She really wants to keep whatever protein and nutrient she's eating in, as well as her supplements, because she's going to have to be supplementing. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if some of her supplements, like B12s and stuff like that, are injected. Because I had a friend that had this surgery, and he was a fellow paramedic of mine, and I remember it was months and months and months out of his surgery. He lost a ton of weight. I was up at his camp with him, and he said, oh, hey, I got to take my vitamins real quick. And I said, okay. And then he goes, oh, you want to give them to me? And I'm like, okay. And I didn't realize he was still on the shots and they were injections. And he said it's always easier to have somebody else do it, but nobody else could do it for him. And since he was a paramedic, he did his own. So I did them. But I wouldn't be surprised if she's not on injectable because they absorb better.
And I have no intention of making that mistake again. But there's the no, there's the, I can see less inflammation like in my face. There's the strangeness of full. And not just that, but like it's a weird feeling, especially since I'm not eating. A really positive part for me is that while I am mentally hungry at times, I'm like, oh, I really want this. I don't have that physical drive. Like the physical hunger is different. And I'm not focused. My mind and my thoughts are not as focused by food.
And that's good. And that's new. But you need therapy to deal with that because, like, from the people I've talked to and from what I've researched and what I've seen, the physical hunger will come back. And then when you have the head hunger combined with the physical hunger and the cravings, then it is harder to not start picking more and cheating and eating too much of the slider foods and stuff like that. So it is a slippery slope, and you have to find a balance. I know it's not easy and it's different for everybody, but that combination of the head hunger and the physical hunger, and then eventually when she's to the point where she can eat a lot more and she's not getting the dumping syndrome as much, she got to watch because sometimes if she doesn't have that control, the head hunger will win and you'll start to give in. And that, like I said, that can be a slippery slope.
My mind, my thoughts, I don't feel controlled by food. It's strange having
Well, that's
food.
really good. Boy, is that like times I've not been controlled by food? That is like freedom. Like if you don't have problems with food, you don't understand that maybe. But when you have like disordered eating, like severe disordered eating, like I had, just finding a way to be able to eat, not be a slave to food and have that head hunger and that food noise. It's like literally can be constant day in and day out. It's just freeing. It's such a breath of fresh air.
Removed from the equation. And I mean, it's not.
That's the other thing. I know I keep stopping, but it's like relevant and I have to because of copyright. But the other thing too is damn, what was I going to say? Oh, that's good. The not wanting to eat and the food being gone. But you have to remember for people like April and many people, food is a coping mechanism. So that's another reason they need therapy. And she's going to have to find other coping mechanisms because a lot of times when people are stressed or frustrated or whatever, like April will turn to food. And now that is not there, or if it's not there, she will either try to force it and have problems or just like really spiral. So she needs to find some good coping mechanisms that aren't eating to get through times when, you know, she's stressed and things are going on.
Removed. I still have to have liquid calories. I am on this liquid fast. And at this point, it's supposed to be a 10-day pre-op and then a 2-week post, but it's actually going to be a little longer than 2 weeks post before I meet with the nutritionist because I had to go off of her availability. So when I meet with the nutritionist so I'll have my 2-week follow-up with the surgeon, and then I'll have my meeting with the nutritionist. And at that point, I will be on soft foods.
Move to soft
I don't know
foods.
really what that will entail. So the interesting thing to me about bariatric procedures and the duodenal switch, even to my specific.
You know what? It's weird. I started this year with just a 3-day fast. A 3-day liquid fast, just to, you know, kind of reset, give my body a break, spiritual reasons, yada, 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 all that stuff. And you want to know the craziest thing is it was not hard until like the last 5 hours. It wasn't hard when I still had 3 days to go or 2 days to go. It wasn't hard until it was almost done because like that countdown switch was running and I was like, oh, I can technically eat again in like 4 hours and 20 minutes. I can eat again in 3 hours and 10 minutes. It's like it was vicious the last like 5 or 6 or 7 hours. It was the worst. And you know, I realized I was like drinking my liquids and all that and liked them and everything, had my broths and whatever. I realized that it wasn't even necessarily food I was missing. I wasn't necessarily hungry after the first so many hours or a day. I realized, and I admitted it, and I said, my partner, I said, the weirdest thing is I missed chewing. I missed the physical act of chewing. Isn't, I mean, that, and it's, I was like, that's really weird. And I said, if I would have done the fast for 5 days, I probably would have been okay for the first 4.5 days. Other than if I would have went longer, I missed the act of physically putting something in my mouth, feeling the texture, and chewing it. Have any of you guys ever fasted and experienced that? That's like it's a crazy thing, but maybe it's not that crazy. You know what I mean? Because we're so used to chewing, and then you suddenly all of your stuff is like liquefied. Maybe it's like a thing. Maybe it's just psychological. I don't know.
Specific surgery is every surgeon has a different regimen. Like they recommend or restrict or have everybody seems to have very specific guidelines or like things that they require or believe in as far as nutrition goes.
Yeah, they all have their programs
and what you should and should not do, and it's pretty interesting. But so then I will be on soft food. So my normal for the next over week is going to be getting lots of protein shakes and liquid protein.
At least they taste good these days. I mean, I have some protein powder right now that I really, really like.
Forms and water. So I am focused on getting at least 90 grams of protein. And this past week, some days it's been a struggle to hit both of those things, but it's at this point right now, it's okay. Like I will be fine.
Because she's going to have to basically sip all day. She can't sit and have like a big protein drink at one time right now. That's not going to fly, and it's not going to stay down. So she's going to have to be sipping and being really mindful of how much she's actually had.
I'm hitting my protein goal, hopefully, and I'm definitely fine hitting my liquid goal. So getting in the...
Yeah, that and the liquid, the water and stuff too, so she doesn't dehydrate.
I was going to say high quality H2O.
High quality, that's some high quality H2O. Oh, yes it is. What reference is that for? I know what it is. It's like losing my mind. The Water Boy. Showing my age. That's a funny ass movie though.
Just a little Water Boy humor that probably doesn't land very well.
No, girl, I got it. I totally got it. I hear ya. I thought it was funny.
Today, but many moons ago, people knew Water Boy.
What was his name? Bobby, was it LaFontaine or something like that? It took place like in the bayou, and his mom was it Kathy Bates, and she was a lunatic. Kathy Bates does play a good lunatic. See Misery.
It's an Adam Sandler movie. Anyway, my life looks different right now, and then once I move to the next phase, it'll look different. Also, right now I'm on leave from work,
so she actually went and got a real job too. No, I'm not saying YouTube's not a real job. It can be a real job for people. And in April's heyday, she was probably making a living wage between YouTube and her sponsorships and Kenny's job, which I don't think he makes a ton, but he does okay. She just likes to shop. Like, I don't know how they had to have been in credit card debt because she spends a lot of money. But it's good that she went out and got a job, because then she's just not sitting there fixating on food and eating and weight and snacking and just mindlessly grabbing stuff. So, and it gets her out and while Kenny's going, I know Kenny tends to leave a lot, for training and for his, I don't know what he does in the military exactly, but he leaves, and I think she doesn't handle being alone well, and it will give her a friend group and something to do and something to feel like her own space and stuff. So I think it's really great, and then it brings in some money too, so that helps.
My time can be...
I heard living from the farms, that living... Like, people go, oh, you're so jealous she lives in Hawaii. And it's gorgeous. But I heard that living in Hawaii is actually disgustingly expensive. So any money she can bring in will help. And, like, some people don't think she should be on YouTube. I don't see a problem with her being on YouTube. She has as much of a right to be on YouTube, making money, sharing her journey as anybody else. That's, like, one of the things I agree with Alan Roberts on most things. I agree. I understand why he says she shouldn't really be on YouTube and why it's hard to share a weight loss journey on YouTube. It takes a special person to do it. And I think he gets on her so much. One, because she couldn't handle the heat and she lied. She was dishonest. But yeah, if you can't handle that heat and the shit you're going to get, because it's going to come no matter what you do, somebody's not going to like it. And she just really, really couldn't handle it. And she didn't take it well at all. And it caused her to have problems. And she got to a point where she cared more about keeping up an appearance as opposed to just doing what she needed to do, like that's why I share my weight loss and stuff, my health journey, kind of like behind the scenes right now. I am going to be sharing it more, but I am honest with what I say. And I do take shorts right now. They're private, but I could public them at any time for accountability. Every morning I do a weigh in and stuff like that where you like see my feet step on the scale. And I've always been pretty honest about my weight, my struggles, stuff like that. And I know you have supporters and you have people that'll give you hell. That's just how it is. If April can't handle that, she needs to not do this. But if she is in a better place and it's not going to send her off the rails, then there's nothing wrong with her being here sharing this. Or maybe she could say, I'm like going to set boundaries. That's fine too. But if you're sharing a weight loss journey where you're losing 200 pounds, and all that, and that's like a main focus, you have to be honest and willing to share not just exercise and movement, but food, but diet. So that's all I have to say about that.
Focused on getting in the nutrition, and it won't be, by the time I am cleared to go back to work, I think it'll be the same.
Where are you working, April? I know she's not going to say because she doesn't want the farms to know. I wish she could at least tell us what she's doing, but she might not even do that, because if she even tells us like what position she has, like if she could just say, oh, I'm a cashier somewhere, the farms would be able to figure it out. Like they absolutely would. She's probably not going to tell us, but I wonder what she's doing.
Time that I go to Whole Foods, like just regular foods. It might still be soft diet. I don't know. So neither here nor there. But it's looking like I will be at home for the next few weeks, which makes filming easier. So hopefully
good. And you can like vlog like around your job, and like don't show us where you work, but just like show us the island, show us near where, around where you live and stuff. There's a beautiful, I guess, hiking and stuff in Hawaii. Show us the dogs going out on walks, show us the beaches. Girl, show us all of it.
To be able to film more. And I am very grateful for my surgeon, for the team, the hospital staff, for my husband, for how smooth the process went, that I made it through the surgery.
Well, that's good, because I do think, and this is no offense to her, I think she's a little bit of an emotionally frail person. And like I said, it's not an insult. Some people are just more emotional and sensitive than others. So I'm glad the process didn't, it worked out well for her, because I feel like if there would have been problems or a lot of delays and stuff, she's the kind of person that it might have like got down if it didn't start on a good foot. Because if you watch older videos, you can kind of see April's like one of those people where if things don't go exactly how she wants them or sees them going or thinks they should go, she gets very flustered, and she doesn't like it. So I'm glad that everything kind of went on track, because I feel like that would have started everything with a bad vibe for her, and I don't know how that would have worked.
Never something to scoff at, and I am happy to have this tool, like this other step, to add to what I try to do.
Yes, and you have to just remember, April, keep remembering that is a tool. I'm glad she sees the surgery as a tool. It will do a lot of the work for her initially, but ultimately it's going to have to be her mind and her therapy and her sticking to a nutritional regimen. That's what's going to ultimately get it done. Because obviously we see with people like Alex Rodriguez, you can eat right through a gastric bypass or a weight loss surgery and end up damn near right back where you started, maybe worse.
For me, it's frustrating to think at how long it took me to even consider looking at this as an option.
Well, like I said before, I think it's a pride thing with April. She really wanted to be the one who did it herself, and she could overcome it, and she didn't need that degree of intervention. And look at how inspirational I am. And like I said, there's no shame in saying you need help with something.
And I that is something I do regret, waiting this long. When I tore the ligaments in my knee and broke my fibula and tore the ligament in my ankle, the surgeon who pieced me back together recommended weight loss surgery.
Oh,
And
so
I was
they were recommending surgery back then. Oh, interesting. I don't think she ever mentioned that to us before. This is the first time we're hearing that.
petrified of the idea. Petrified's not the right word, but I just was like, oh, it's not for me. And all of the steps and pieces just.
Honey, I'm not trying to be mean. When you lost weight before, you lost it on a very strict protein sparing modified fast. Very strict, very low calorie, very regimented. And then if you look back through her Instagram, you can see she was controlling her weight. She was very, very active. She liked rock climbing and yoga and went to the gym a lot and walked to church and walked to school. She was very, very active. I think even back then, she still depended a lot on the physical activity. And eventually, she couldn't keep up with it. She met Kenny and she gained, between the time they got engaged and the time they got married, which was only a couple of months, she gained 30 pounds. And got back to the overweight stage, and even then she still wasn't too bad. She was around 170. But then he went away for a year in the military, and she doubled her weight. I think she more than doubled it. She said she got up to 350. I think her lowest weight was what, 140, 150. More than doubled her weight. I think she got up to around 380, 390, maybe 400. So when you do that, you gain that much weight, especially in that much time, you need drastic intervention. You need help. Something like this is for you. And there's no shame in that. And it can help you, but you also have to get your mind right about food. But yeah, April didn't just gain 20, 40, 50 pounds. April gained more than another April.
Seemed so overwhelming, and I didn't even give it a consideration or look into it. And I regret that, because I could have been to this point a long time ago.
Maybe if they really wanted to have kids, that she could have been to a point where they could have had a baby. I think right now they may never get to be, because she's 40 now, and she's gonna have to wait a year or two. I don't know if they're gonna be able to buy a lot. I don't know if they ever really she actually wanted kids, but it would be tough going now.
Other side, though, is that I will never be to this point
but
again.
She will be healthy and she will be happy, and that's a plus. And she just said she will never be at this point again. I'm pretty sure she said that before. I hope it sticks this time. I really do. And I can't wait to see where this goes.
I am losing this weight, and I already feel so much freer from before, which is something to consider. Like, I felt imprisoned, I think, or enslaved to thoughts about food.
Food thoughts and obsessions and intrusive thinking, like I said, when you have disordered eating, it can be vicious. It is all consuming. I know, I lived it. It was really, 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 really bad for me for a while. And it is tough to deal with.
What I am eating, what I'm not eating, fear of weight gain. Even before I lost the weight, I was so slow and careful to not undereat. So that.
Oh, girl, like, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but you did a lot of things, but undereat you did not.
Way I wouldn't risk gaining it back, and then I gained so much weight back anyway. So I'm grateful to have learned the lessons that I've learned, and I'm grateful to be where I am now.
Good. I really hope she did. I hope she did. And well, we will see, because with this surgery, with this supposed lessons and stuff, we should see visible weight come off. I'm guessing in the first year, this time next year, April should be down from where she is right now at least 100 pounds. A good 100, maybe like 120, but definitely 100.
Now to be able to go forward and be successful. I hope sharing my story helps someone out there feel less alone, less like you're the only one who's stubborn, the only one who keeps trying and failing, the only one who can't look at themselves sometimes.
That's a very telling phrase right there, about the fear of failing and stuff. And did you hear that last thing she said? She said, about not being able to look at yourself. Listen, I relate to that. Maybe that I relate in April to in a lot of ways, and that's why I feel nicer to her and stuff and more hopeful. I know what it's like. I'm even to that point right now, and I have been for a long time, where I don't like looking at myself. I am embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm disgusted. That is not a that's not a fun place to be in, you know. And even when other people, oh, you look nice, you look pretty, I I I say thank you, you know what I mean? Oh, but I, in my mind, I can't accept that compliment, and all I can think is like, ooh, yuck, you're gross and stuff like that. And I'm not dogging on people that are bigger than me, because I can look at somebody who is genuinely a lot bigger than me and think that person doesn't look as bad as I do. They look good. They look fine. I think they look great. And I will genuinely mean it. When it comes to myself, like, I have a hard time getting in the shower or anything, like, because I do it obviously, but I don't have a mirror that I can see my body. I don't like, I try not to look down at myself and look at my body. I do it as little as possible. I wear big baggy clothes a lot of the time that my partner says, yes, they make me look bigger. And I kind of know that, but tight stuff just, it really, it leaves me feeling very exposed, you know, vulnerable. But so I know what that's like. And that's a tough place to be in, when you don't even want to look at yourself and you have that self-loathing. But it can be overcome. And the more successes you have, I know from personal experience, the more successes you have and the more, like, it helps you and it gets you in a better mindset. One of the ways I do that, I need it personally for me, is I need to be regimented. I need a consistency. I need a routine. I need to set specific guidelines and rules for myself. If I join in or set up for myself like some sort of a goal or challenge or competition, I work well with that type of stuff. So that's just me. Some people, that's too much pressure. They don't like it, but that is really, it's helped me before with getting back into like being more active and stuff like that. But it's really, it helps me a lot, especially with the weight and the food and stuff like that. So, and just in life in general, because I'm one of those people that I will like get involved into something, like reading something or doing something, and before I know it, 8 hours have gone by, my day has gone by. I get real kind of scatterbrained because I work from home, especially. So just keeping to a routine and having a schedule, which I'm working on for myself. For the YouTube has to be a little more flexible because I don't 100% know when I'm gonna have to react to something, but like making set hours to work on the keychains and jewelry and stuff I make for my shop, and then have days that I do my soaps and bath products, have days that I do this and that, and times that I want to do my walk. Like, that will really help me a lot. It doesn't help everybody, but it will help me a lot more, and I don't feel as overwhelmed. And I like being busy. Keeping busy really helps me too. But anyways,
you're not alone, and I love you, and to my future self, I love you, and I can't wait to see where this part of my life takes me.
April, I seriously hope you can look back on this video in a year and go, damn, I have done the thing. I am 100 or more pounds down. I'm doing it. I'm still going. I'm having success. My whole life has changed. I really, truly hope that. So we're going to be here for every little step of it, right, guys? But anyways, I hope you like this video. I'm going to get it edited and get it out. And then I see Foodie Beauty did another full foodie fracking mukbang today. Maybe I'll get to that. Maybe I won't. I probably should. But anyways, Alex uploaded again today too. I have some stuff to get out. I'll see if that's worth reacting to. But leave a like and like and subscribe to all the YouTube things. Leave a comment if you want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And I will definitely be seeing you guys in the next video. So I hope you're having a good day. It's Tuesday. let's get through this week. I hope you're having a great week, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.